دكتور.
Good afternoon, everybody.
لو بتقرب شوي دكتور بس شوي لقدام زي هيك ما
We should be acting on the basis of these agreements. This is, after all, the whole framework of the meeting in Astana. Astana has its own specific framework, and we are here to implement this framework. Some of the participants, and namely speaking the delegation of the terrorist armed groups, gave its own interpretation or misinterpretation of these agreements and went beyond the framework of these agreements. And that created a problem for all the participants, because they did not, the delegation of the armed terrorist groups did not respect the provisions of the agreement on the basis of which we came to Astana. They talked about the military operations conducted by the Syrian Arab Army against the terrorists in Ain al-Tija, which is the main source of drinking water for the capital of Damascus. Here we are talking about 7 million people deprived from drinking water since 42 days. For them, these people are not terrorists, although we know that they are al-Nusra Front. Al-Nusra Front is not part of the agreements on the cessation of hostilities. So when you defend somebody who is not part of the agreements, that means you are defending the wrong side, especially when you know that these people who are using the water as a war crime, war weapon, are nothing but al-Nusra Front. Al-Nusra Front is, according to the Security Council, a terrorist entity.
But Ambassador Ja'afari,
so you cannot defend a terrorist entity, and you cannot qualify the military operations of the Syrian Arab Army against these terrorists who are depriving 7 million people from drinking water as an act which is not in line with the agreements. This is wrong.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by misinterpreting the agreements.
Use the time to recognize that these are legitimate opposition forces that deserve to negotiate with the Syrian government.
That was our impression before we entered into the room and heard their statement. We had the guarantees from the guarantors that this delegation will behave. Actually, they did not behave. They were not acting responsibly. And we will not be part of any maneuver aiming at torpedoing the meeting of Astana. This is why I said everybody got surprised. We were not surprised because we know these guys, who they are, but we will not be part of any maneuver. We will not be part of any maneuver aiming at destroying and undermining the meeting of Astana.
So there will be no...
Is the opposition face-to-face, Ambassador Ja'afari? Are you willing to engage?
أكلت